Morning everyone, great to see you all here this morning. You'll notice we're constantly changing little things as we do these meetings and trying to improve things, give you the greatest value that we can. One of the things we're going to be doing from now on is the chair will be rotating around the board members. So you'll start seeing more of us acting as board chair as we move forward. The other piece is what Andrew just mentioned for this morning. After each presentation, we're just going to ask you, was it useful? Was it interesting? That will not be shared at all. That will be kept private to us, but that is so that we know as a board what works for you as members, because I know I say this every time, but this is your organisation. It belongs to members. So we need to make sure we give you as much value as we possibly can. As part of that, I'd also encourage you to complete the Menti at the end to let us know what's worked for you and what hasn't. The great thing for me is I volunteered to do this date, and actually the agenda is fabulous for me. LinkedIn reminded me yesterday it's a year since I moved from Balfour Beatty, so I'm really looking forward to hearing Carl and Thomas talk about what's been going on there in the year that I've been away. Miss all my colleagues there at Balfour Beatty, and I can see Tom down there as well in this meeting, so really looking forward to hearing about that. And it's great to have the bigger companies coming in and talking to us as well. We're then going to talk about the UK Sustainable Development Goals, and obviously that's something that's very close to my heart. There's a lot of talk about social value at the moment. Anybody that's linked into the government public procurement notices will have noticed there's been 2 come out recently on social value, and it all links into those UN SDGs, as Colin will tell us later. A couple of great 3x3s. And I've been really brave and handed over the egg timer to Hazel. You all know how I feel about my egg timer. I wouldn't trust just anybody with it. So, you know, I'll be watching Hazel carefully to make sure she takes that responsibility up really well. And then Vicky will be talking to us about the school engagement, which you all know I'm very passionate about in terms of what we can not just contribute, but, you know, get business benefits out of as well. There's then going to be our patron handover. So it's a big meeting for us today with that patron handover. And some of you will be able to see Marcia there, who's come to join us for this meeting as part of that. And we'll have a little bit of a conversation with her later on. I'd encourage everybody to take part in the networking if your diary allows. We're all missing seeing each other. There's been some stuff in the conversation there this morning. We're all missing seeing each other. This is the best we can do for now, is those networking sessions, but we're getting great feedback on them. And mainly, enjoy the meeting. Thanks, Andrew.
Great, thank you very much, Diane. We had a few more people join just as we were going through that introduction. So we'll move on to our first speaker this morning, and that is Carl McNicholas from Balfour Beatty Kilpatrick. So over to you, Carl, to open up your mic and share your slides whenever you're ready.
So thanks for the intro, and just like to thank everybody at Britain's Energy Coast Business Cluster, all the members, for allowing us to present to you about Balfour Beatty Kilpatrick. We know everybody's time is valuable. As I say, we have some questions to ask. If we could put them in chat, and if we get time to the end, if not, we'll get responses back to you via the cluster. So, right. So we're going to give a quick overview of Balfour Beatty Group, where we as Balfour Beatty Kilpatrick sit within the group, our capabilities, a bit on our strategy, a bit about our history in the area, our social impact, and really key to this presentation is our pipeline of work within the UK and supply chain, which we need to strengthen. And then we'll finish off with a few words regarding how we're looking to bring some innovation to our projects within the nuclear sector. So myself, I'm Carl McNicholas. I'm the Operations Manager at Balfour Beatty Kilpatrick here at Sellafield. And presenting alongside me today is Thomas Hyland. He's our Project Manager for the BEPS and DIF project. And some of you may also know him as the Shadow Board Business Collaboration Lead. So Balfour Beatty Group, we've got 6 streams and also a successful joint venture with Gammon in Hong Kong. So the streams are the Balfour Beatty major projects, which are at site with SMF and BEP, and Diane's an ex-employee with that part of the business. Then we have UKCS. We've got US buildings, US civils over in America, and then we've got a very successful infrastructure investments business. And then we have the rails and utility, which involves power T&D with overhead lines, gas and water, and rail. So Balfour Beatty Kilpatrick, we sit in the UK construction services business. And as you can see, our managing director is Simon Lafferty. So the construction services businesses worldwide, these form 82% of Balfour Beatty's total revenue stream. And the UK construction business that we're part of provides 33% of that. And pre-COVID, our order book had almost doubled in the first half of 2020 compared to 2019. Obviously, along with a number of other organisations, we've been heavily impacted with COVID. So hopefully things will improve. And as an organisation, we've been delivering complex infrastructure projects for over 110 years. So there's a lot of history within the business. So again, UK Construction Services, Balfour Beatty, we sit in there underneath Dean Banks, along with another 5 organisations. And I'll touch on Balfour Beatty in the next slide. So Balfour Beatty Kilpatrick, 6 main offices throughout the UK, as you can see on the left. Obviously the main one for myself and Thomas, and probably people on this call, is the Westlakes and Sellafield offices. The sectors that we work in is aviation, buildings, civils, defence and energy, known as the ABCDE model. And the part that we are engaged in is energy. And as you can see on the slide there, we've had a really successful relationship with the Sellafield site for 44 years. Current numbers are 320 staff, operatives and apprentices. 80 apprentices in the business currently, 400 staff, 1,100 operatives. But what isn't shown on the slide is Leo Quinn, our CEO. He's the founder of what is the 5% Club, and that's where businesses all pledge to have a minimum of 5% of the employees either in apprenticeships or in further education. At Sellafield, we've consistently achieved 10 to 11%, which is something we're really proud of. And something else we're really proud of is in that duration, we've had over 100 apprentices through the Sellafield business. So it's local apprenticeships for local people. So what is Balfour Beatty Kilpatrick? We've got a full turnkey delivery capability for mechanical plant and equipment, high integrity stainless steel pipework, carbon pipework. We do the full E&I scope, high voltage, low voltage, panel manufacturing, or the full installation. And we also have the high integrity ductwork installation capability. And the business is supported by a fabrication facility down at Bromborough, who have 3 work streams, that being the high integrity pipe work. We also do service modules for plant rooms, risers, etc. And we also manufacture high integrity, fully welded stainless steel ductwork. Andrew, if you could just ask questions 1 and 2 in the poll for us, please. Give a couple of seconds for that.
Yep. Okay. So we've actually got the questions all grouped in one here. So so if it's just questions 1 and 2 that you're after at this point, then I'll put the questions up on screen, and if people could answer those questions quickly, that would be very helpful.
I am.
Andrew, for some reason that won't let me submit even after I've answered. I don't know if anybody else is having the same issue.
They're coming through now. It was a little bit slow, but I can see they're all coming through now.
It's me then.
So we've got 20%.
Diane, try scrolling. Have you tried scrolling down? Because I just tried to and then realised there were more questions. I scrolled down.
Ah, thank you. Perfect.
Okay, so we've got 51% voted, 55, 57. It's going up quite quickly now. .69%. So there's about another 10 people who have not yet voted. But if you want to carry on,
yeah,
then
so,
those questions can still be answered.
Okay. So within UKCS, we've got a strategy of customer focus first. And this comprises of the 3 pillars in the triangle that you see there, main one being customer focus. And this is where we invest a lot of time and effort in our customer relationships and ensuring that we look after our customers and that we're doing what we say we will do from tender stage. And we're true to what we say we're going to do. Construction excellence. And this is really where we're reviewing our processes and sort of minimising waste and using processes and procedures to deliver works right first time. Some of the things that you see there, it's like the line of sight that we use at Sellafield, where we've got short interval control at site, and you know the new normal and the drive for efficiencies that we're getting out of that now, defect-free delivery, etc. And then we have innovation, and this is where we're using up-to-date technology, and we're working with organisations, software organisations, to really push the boundaries of what their systems can do by integrating software tools and streamlining data to deliver more efficiently. And some of the systems are there. You might be aware of them: Power BI, Binfield 360, OpenSpace, etc. Designed for manufacturing and assembly, which is part of the Bromborough offering. So Balfour Beatty within West Cumbria. So I'm going to start at the bottom left and then work sort of clockwise around. So Balfour Beatty Kilpatrick, or Balfour Kilpatrick as we were known then, is we were on Thorpe, so that's the head end, responsible for the electrical and instrumentation installation. And that was back in the early 80s and 90s. So moving to the far right, we have the sludge packaging plant 1 project. So that was SPP1. That was my project as a project engineer and project manager. And that picture there is showing the trial build of the modules that we built. So that was over in Middlesbrough. Above, that's pictures of the stack stacks being installed on top of SPRS. So that was a Sellafield product and residue store, and that was back in 2009, 2012. Then into the middle, so this is a flagship project for Balfour Beatty as a whole, and this is the silos maintenance facility. Fantastic project for us as a business, won 23 safety awards in total. Had 5 years without a lost time incident. Probably, I think it's the first major project to be delivered at Sellafield without a lost time incident. And it was successful in winning the APM 2019 award for engineering, construction and infrastructure. Top left, the 3D model shot there, that's BEP, the box encapsulation plant, and BEP's DIF, which is the box encapsulation plant, product store and direct import facility. Both are current projects that we're delivering full ME&I works. Andrew, if we can just ask question 3, please.
Those questions were all grouped together in the same poll. So a lot of those questions have already been answered, but I can pop it up again,
right? Okay.
If people need. But I think we've got 39 people voted, so I think most people will have covered all of those questions in the.
Okay,
in the
right,
go.
no problem. Okay. So, nuclear timeline. So the Balfour Beatty Kilpatrick nuclear timeline. So we're right back in 1953 at Calder Hall, and then we had a bit of time away from Sellafield. But you can see there from 1976 we've had a continuous involvement at Sellafield. So West Cumbria has been really integral to the Balfour Beatty Kilpatrick business. And it shows that we've been there, from 1976 up to present day. So a lot of the projects are grouped around the late 90s and up until present day, which you can see a big increase in project delivery there at site. And what we're sort of saying there is, West Cumbria remains integral to our business plans moving forward. And, we want to be here for the next 44 years. I maybe not want to be there that long, but Thomas might. Starting to get on a bit now myself. And so our delivery experience in the energy sector. So we've delivered over £1 billion worth of construction work just in the energy sector, what we class as the energy sector. 13 projects in total currently going through. We've just received our 19th ROSPA Gold Award, consecutive Gold Award, which accumulates, I think it's our 5th order of distinction, which is something that we're really proud of. And I think what it also shows on that slide is that we're here for repeat business. And we really value repeat business. With 44 years at Sellafield and 10 years at Grangemouth, it does show that we do what we say we're going to do. And moving forward, we've got some key clients there on the right of the slide, and that's Sellafield Limited, Doosan Babcock, Morgan Sindall, obviously really key to our growth moving forward at Sellafield with PPP. I'm going to do a quick handover to Thomas to take you through social impact.
Hi everybody. Let me just get myself set up. Hi everybody. My name's Thomas Hyland, and as Carl pointed out, I'm a project manager at Balfour Beatty on one of our projects at Sellafield. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Balfour Beatty and our impact on the community, first of all. So I think Carl highlighted an important stat, which was our CEO was the founder of the 5% Club, which meant 5% of our business is apprentices and trainees at all time. And, it makes me quite proud to hear that at Sellafield and locally, it's 10%. So we're doubling the target set from our chief exec, which is fantastic. I also wanted to walk you through a few initiatives we've had locally and things we've been involved in, and I put them up on the screen. I won't talk in too much detail about them, but it goes from things such as our apprentices attending the Whitehaven Town Centre for the Paper Aeroplane Challenge, getting people into the area spending money, through to supporting local clubs with kits and things, and right the way through to refurbishing St James's School and importantly attending colleges and schools. There's an example there. Chris Whittaker and Russ Frears attended Lakes College with over 20 students to train them and give them some real world experience, which is important. I also wanted to highlight that this week we signed up to the All Together Cumbria, which is great steps in the right direction for Balfour Beatty, and that's Morgan Sindel initiative. Again, I'd encourage everyone on the call to take a look at that, and also encourage you to sign up. So probably something that we're all interested in is the pipeline, and how Balfour Beatty see the supply chain supporting them through these opportunities. So we as a business believe there's around 4 billion worth of strategic opportunity across the country, and more importantly, focused locally. We see about just over 2 billion based at Sellafield and the associated areas. One thing we wanted to get across on this call is these are huge opportunities, the strategic, and we need the supply chain to help us deliver all aspects of that. And we're open to many different things. So people might have never worked with Balfour Beatty before. Get in touch. I'm sure you have an offering that you can support us with. And people might view us as a competitor. Well, these projects are so big in size, we might need to work together and collaborate like we've never done before. So that's a really, really important point for me. So you can see some of the things we've put there as top 10 supply chain requirements, but we encourage anyone that thinks they can help us on our journey to really get in touch with either Carl or I or Matt. So I'm not sure if anybody's heard of the 2400 accreditation. Balfour Beatty were actually the first worldwide to get the accreditation. I think the reason I wanted to bring this up was we don't just pay the supply chain lip service. The business has invested heavily in the accreditation, and we really, really need the supply chain going forward. So to work with Balfour Beatty, you do need to be signed up to our construction line. So I wanted to highlight that to everyone today. It's a really simple process, and it's tailored to the level of the level the supply chain's at. So if you're a bigger organisation, there might be a bit more detail required, smaller, less detail. But again, we're here to help you work through that, and we want people to sign up for construction line. So when these opportunities become real, we're ready to mobilise. So I really want to highlight that to you all today. And again, this isn't about what Balfour Beatty are doing. I just want to make everybody aware of certain things. So I'm not sure if people have heard of the supply chain school, but Balfour Beatty are a founding member, and they're a gold member, and they're a key financer to it. And the main thing for me is for smaller organisations out there, potentially quite a few on the call today. I believe there's around 50 members. So they can look, and you get CPD, there's networking opportunities out there similar to today, and there's also an opportunity to attend learning modules and things like that. Should you feel that it'll help? So the link's on the screen. But again, if you need any more questions or support in that, feel free to get in touch with the contact details we provide at the end. And finally, one of the final bits from me is innovation. So Carl talked about CS UK and our business strategy, and innovation is one of them tiers. So it means a lot to Balfour Beatty. We believe there's a lot of opportunity to improve areas within the construction sector. And we believe the supply chain can help us a lot with this. And for us, it's about removing waste from our processes and working in a more efficient way. looking at digital infrastructure and creating and connecting ecosystems of products, processes, and a common way of working for everyone. We've all seen, we're all aware of COVID, we've all seen it, and it's probably moved us quite quickly into a more digital age. We're all working from home, we're all using technology that we've never used before, and for me it's about implementing them on projects going forward. Again, there is quite a lot of detail on the Balfour Beatty website for things that I'm sure you've all heard of. 25% by 25, seizing the day. There's many different documents. I encourage you to go on the website and have a little look through them. But again, as I've said previously, feel free to get in touch if you like. And finally, I'm touching on the last slide. Over the coming weeks, we'll be sharing some of the digital offerings we have as a business. We'll be showcasing them at Sellafield, and we did plan on giving a 5-minute video until Hazel informed us we didn't have enough time. So I really will be uploading that to the BECBC website, and I encourage anyone to have a look and please share any things you feel like you can offer and support Balfour Beatty with. So that's it from me. Thank you all for listening. I know it's been very short. We're tight for time. I'm going to hand over to Carl McNicholas, who'll close the session. Thank you.
Thanks, Thomas. So what's next? What are we wanting? So we're looking to engage with a potential supply chain. We proposed to hold a series of supply chain workshops in Q1, Q2, 2021. Hopefully this presentation has been of some value. Hopefully it's sparked an interest or made you think of a winning formula for the next big project with Balfour Beatty Kilpatrick. So really, many thanks for listening. If there's any questions, we'll take these. I'm going to put up contact details for Matt Taylor. Matt was meant to be presenting today, so I'm quite happy for all questions to go to Matt. I'll even hand his personal mobile out at the end of the session. But yeah, there's the contact details for Matt. And so if there's any questions, we're happy to take them.
Okay, thank you, both of you. Yes, there are a couple of questions, and I will take those. I'll ask those myself, if that's okay, because we are a little bit tight on time. Now, the first one came from, this is the problem now, working back up the chat. It came from Kath Howard, and I can't see the exact words, but she was saying you've got some fantastic apprenticeship figures. How are you going to maintain those in the wake of COVID?
Well, we've done a lot of work with Sellafield, and to a lot of the construction cells. Balfour Beatty Kilpatrick were really key to helping the process of getting people back through our knowledge from key projects such as MECD down in Manchester, and we've moved to like 3-shift systems. So we've got a lot of our employees back to work. Our apprentices are all back to work now, and we've just actually taken on another 2 mechanical apprentices this year. And obviously, you know, an organisation like ourselves, we've got a responsibility to make sure we've got the skills for the future. And looking at £4 billion worth of work, we're not going to be able to complete that without investing in the youth.
Okay, thank you. And one more question, which came from Monica Gerry, who is also speaking shortly. But she asks, how do BBK engage service providers who are not directly related to construction services as such, i.e. physical asset management? So this is off the back of the question in the presentation on whether you're registered on Construction Line, as the platform is really focused on construction industry requirements, whilst her organisation, for example, are a support service provider.
I suppose it's really get in touch, tell us what your offering is. We take that back into the business and see where there's any opportunities. And for example, I'm going to name you here, Claire Louise. We're just engaging with the shared value business ourselves. So it isn't just, you know, we're not just looking for concrete mixers and bricklayers. We're really open to engaging with, you know, the wider support services as and when required.
And from my perspective, it was a couple of hours that I'll possibly not get back of my life, but actually we're all right to go through construction line as a non-construction person. So it is fairly accessible. But yeah, the help that you gave, Carl, and that advice did help a lot, actually. So yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, brilliant. Well, that's everything. There was no further questions. Hopefully that has been helpful for everybody. Obviously, contact details are on screen. So do reach out. It sounds like there's an open invitation to reach out. So if you want more information, then by all means, get in touch with Matthew, and details obviously on screen. So we'll move on to our next speaker, and that is Colin Curtis, who is founder and CEO of Support the Goals. So Colin, as and when you're ready, open up your mic, and you're also going to be sharing slides. You've got a presentation, and that's coming through. So over to you when you're ready.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Andrew. And thank you everybody for your time, for letting me speak today. I'm Colin Curtis. I'm based just south of the bay, literally just south of the bay. If I look out my window, I should theoretically be able to go and see Barrow. But at the moment, all I can see is clouds. So definitely can't see at the moment. I run a small organisation called Support the Goals, and I'll take you through what that's about today and talk a little bit about the Sustainable Development Goals. So our focus is around the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, also known as the Global Goals, also known as the SDGs. I personally hate the term SDGs because I think we've got enough acronyms in our life, and honestly, SDG sounds contagious to me. But if anybody's not come across these goals before, you'd be forgiven. There's not enough awareness of them out there, which is why my organisation exists. But basically, they cover 17 topics. They are 17 goals that's been agreed by every single world leader back in 2015, launched in 2016, and their aim is to go and tackle poverty, inequality, and climate change, and a whole range of other issues by 2030. And although they're global goals that are owned by governments, the idea is that these get cascaded down to individual communities and individual businesses as well. So as you look through these, I'm sure you can see things that are relevant to your business and also to the West Cumbria area as well. So, you know, you can look and see obvious things like energy on there, climate action, decent work and economic growth, and some of the things that are maybe a little less relevant as well. The key thing is with these goals is that they will only be achieved if we get businesses behind them. The awareness of these is relatively low, particularly in smaller and medium-sized businesses, but every business can go and contribute to these. Whether the part they play is quite small or whether it's quite large, everybody's got a part to play, and not just businesses, but us as individuals as well. So the goals they're not about hugging trees. They're not some kind of hippie idea. There is actually an awful lot of business behind these as well. There was a report done by the Business and Sustainable Development Commission that identified 12 trillion. I'm not even quite sure how many zeros that is, but that's a really big number of economic opportunity by 2030 if we could get behind these. So in context, that's 10% of the global GDP. And also the potential for 380 million jobs. And that's split across 4 key areas and 60 particular industries. Energy is a massive, massive part of all of this, as well as things like autonomous vehicles, food waste, and a whole range of other things. But on a more kind of everyday level, the reasons for businesses to get behind this, most people believe that businesses should do this. Most people are more likely to buy from companies that support the goals. So you'll increasingly see this in RFPs. There's starting to be bits coming out from government around this as well. Most young people actually want to work for a company that does good and supports these goals as well. And probably one of the key bits is most big companies, including ones like Balfour Beatty, are already planning action to go and support the goals. So what are we? So we're an initiative to go and research which companies are already doing good things to support the goals, to go and give them a rating. We have a really simple rating system, which I'll explain, and to go and give them some shout outs and good recognitions. And we look at the big companies, we look at those small innovators that are doing really cool things, and just everyday businesses. But the key thing we do is we involve supply chains, because that's how we get scale on this, and this is how we're going to go and spread the word. So all this goes into a big database, and this is on its way to becoming the world's largest database of business support for the goals. Not quite as grand as it sounds. There's only one other database out there with about 2,000 organizations in. And at this rate, I think we'll have about 3,000 companies in the database by January. All our research is freely available, so you can go to the link that you can see on the screen, and you can look at all the FTSE 100, all the FTSE 250 listed companies, and a lot of our members who voluntarily shared their details as well. And you can break them down by what goals they're focusing on and what industry they're in. And what we do is we share nice stories. So we tell all like the nice things they're doing. They're very short form blogs. So our writers have what they call their mum tests, which is they want nice stories that their mum will enjoy. So they're not designed to be really kind of, technical stories. They're just nice and straightforward. And they show how these companies are doing things that are supporting the goals. We give companies recognition. So what we do is we give them a badge to go and show they support the goals, so they can put it on their reports, on their websites, on their email signatures, and we've got a lot of major businesses starting to use this. We give them a certificate which they can share with their customers, with their employees, and with their investors. They get a listing on the website as well, so they can be listed alongside big companies, and we share nice stories. And we share their rating as well, and our rating is designed so it doesn't matter whether you're a one-person company or whether you're a kind of huge multinational, you can still get recognized in just the same way. Probably the key thing we do is we involve suppliers. So we will tell you how your supply chain, all of your supply chain, is supporting the goals. We'll research them, we'll give them a rating, and we'll give each business their own personal dashboard so they can see their supply chain mapped out, what goals they're supporting, and we do that for absolutely no cost. There's no forms to fill in, there's no big onboarding processes, no questionnaires or anything. All our work is done via desktop research, which I'll explain a little bit more about. So our rating system is designed to be deliberately simple. So it's really objective. We're not saying whether the company is good or bad, because frankly, that's too complicated and too subjective. All we're looking for is if a business is publicly sharing evidence of 5 key steps to go and support the goals. So they have to share this on their website. The reason we're doing this is we're encouraging companies to go and talk more about the goals and the good things they're doing, because that's good for raising awareness of the goals and it's good for the business themselves. And for each one of these 5 key steps, we award a star. So if they show a plan to go and support the goals, and that can be as small as 1 sentence, saying that they support the goals and these are the particular ones they focus on, that gets them a star. The second star is showing commitments towards the goals. So it's okay saying they're getting behind them, but what particular things are they doing and what commitments are they making to go and support them? Have they got a net zero target supporting Goal 13 climate action, for example? Are they tackling gender equality? Are they tackling decent work and economic growth? And what commitments are they making? Can they give examples of actions they're taking and show how those support the goals? And can they give numbers to go and show the progress they're making as well? But the last one, and the one we feel is the most important, is involving their suppliers. Because doing things in your own business is great, but realistically, as everybody knows on this call, supply chain is where it's at. So we want every organization to be working with their suppliers and encouraging them to go and support the goals. And the nice thing is, we'll do that for them. Through that supplier dashboard I mentioned earlier on, we'll do the research, we'll do the ratings, and we'll encourage their suppliers to get involved. So who does all this research? We're technically a social enterprise. So we have an army of talented young people, mainly from universities. The bulk of them are from Lancaster University, but we've got other ones from places as far-flung as quite a few down south, even one researcher from Islamabad, and a few in Australia as well. And for these researchers, what this does is that gives them valuable work experience. They get to go and understand what organizations are doing, how they communicate, how corporate reporting works, how corporate sustainability works. We generate employment opportunities for them as well. So we take and pay a number of these ones, and they get a career program where they can start off volunteering. We get funding for the universities to go and assist with their pay as well. And then we take them on. Then they can start to go and develop skills in consultancy afterwards. But we have a small army. There's a few of them you can see on the screen there of people behind this. We have a desperately bad gender split. For some odd reason, my gender is particularly bad on the environmental side. So us blokes really, really need to go and step up on this. I don't know what is going on. We've got support from a number of places. So parts of government, we've got some backing from Cabinet Office on this, from parts of the United Nations, so from the Conference of Trade, Agriculture and Development, from the UN Global Compact, the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, quite a few ratings agencies as well, so Achilles, GRESB, World Benchmarking Alliance, and we work with a number of universities as well. So we're very conscious of the fact that we want to work with these people, and what we do is complementary to all of those systems. So any of the work that's been done in Achilles, for example, this complements enormously. So the supply chain sustainability skill was mentioned earlier on. That's another organization we complement and work quite closely with. Excuse me. So I'd encourage everybody on this call to go and get involved with this. It's really, really easy to go and do. It takes about 2 minutes to go and sign up. So you'll be joining industry leaders. So there are lots of really, really big companies involved here. So innovators, lots of small companies, and just everyday businesses to go and get involved in supporting the goals and to get recognition for the good work you're probably already doing. Benefits to doing that. It's kind of nice to be part of something bigger than yourself. So being part of the world's greatest action plan, that's fantastic. So chances are you're already doing good things anyway. So getting recognition for it, that's what we're all about. And also involving your suppliers. So, you know, using that kind of pay it forward effect to go and get as many people involved as possible. If you're a bit unsure what the goals are, if you're unsure which of those goals are most relevant to your business, how to go and build it into your comms or what to go and do, we've got a team of experts that can go and help as well. So we have packages where we can go and help you and go and give you guidance. We've got experts on board who are formerly of Jacobs and Worley, you know, so a lot of people who will understand your industry and from who work locally on social value as well. And you'd be doing a great thing. You'd be raising awareness of the goals and supporting employment for young people. So the scheme is membership driven. If you want to find out what the heck are the goals and what on earth can I go and do about them and how does my business currently compare to others, there's a free membership level that doesn't cost you anything. So you can sign up on that one. And I've just realized I've not put a link for signing on this one, but I will make sure that's shared out afterwards. You can join at a supporter level to go and get recognition on the website, and there's no vast fees involved in that. And if you want additional advice, there's a slightly higher fee, but again, it's designed so it doesn't really matter whether you're a small business or a big business. It's not exactly budget busting. So that's all about support the goals. I will stop at that point and see if there are any questions.
Thank you, Colin. We have got one question, and just because we are running slightly behind time, it comes from Jutta Devonish, and she is asking can you explain how your work is funded apart from the supporter subscription?
Literally just that. It is the supporter subscription that pays for everything. So it's very low cost. Maybe to give a slightly longer answer on that one, what we're looking at doing is leveraging the power of supply chains. So our assumption is that when you involve your suppliers, sadly, probably 90% of them will go, that's really nice, but not do anything. But a good percentage of your suppliers may be interested in go and sign up. And it's that kind of ripple effect through a supply chain that we want to go and drive volume, which both raises awareness of the goals, but also helps with our funding.
All right. Thank you, Colin, and thank you, Jutta, for that question. We haven't had any other questions, but there's been quite a lot of discussion in the chat today, just more generally. So I'd urge people to go and have a look back through the chat. And Colin, I guess, will you put that link into the chat once we've finished on your presentation?
Yes, I will do.
Perfect. And we'll move on to the next section, which is we've got 2 3x3 presentations. Yeah, I can see Colin's just added that link into the chat. So supportthegoals.org join. Thank you. Right, so 3x3s, and we're going to start with Adrienne Easterbrook. But I've got something to do here. I'm sharing your slides. So I will just get myself organized. Adrienne, there we go. Okay. Right, Hazel, you are in charge of this egg timer today. So Diane has probably reluctantly relinquished it, but it looks like it's there on screen. So Hazel, you can do your countdown, and then it's over to you, Adrienne, when you're ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Thank you. The pressure of the 3 minutes. So Adrienne Easterbrook at Energus. So I'm going to talk to you today about our early careers agenda on cybersecurity. Starting with cybersecurity level 4 apprentices, we've been working with them since 2017. We then moved on to graduates. We've had them since 2018. And all of the graduates and apprentices are with us for 2 years, and we put them out into industry. And they do some fantastic work. And honestly, I can't speak highly enough of them. They're amazing. They're actually sitting opposite me doing their final year projects, some of them. We also work with school children as well on our Cyber First programs. So getting kids in aged 13 to 17, and it's a summer project. Up until this year, it was always delivered face-to-face at Energus, and they'll get to go into the lovely cyber lab. You can see a picture of it there. This year, we delivered it virtually to over 100 children. So that really shows you, just in Cumbria alone, how many kids really want to get into this sort of sector. And then we're working with the UTC next door to us, the UTC school, and we're delivering the technical certificate to their 6th formers. Last year we had 7, this year it's doubled, well, more than doubled, and we've got 15 students enrolled on that, so that's fantastic. Next slide, please. So why are we actually doing this? So we want to protect our own business and help you guys protect yours. So, you know, there's more and more attacks. You see it every day. It could be phishing, ransomware, you name it. And some of us, now we've had loads of training at Energus, we know how to identify them. It could be something as easy as you clicking on a link that takes your systems down. Having apprentices in your business can help you. And graduates, they are fantastic. And we're working with such a lot of organisations. So we've currently got our learners in the likes of the NDA, Sellafield, Magnox, International Nuclear Services, Direct Rail Services. We've had a graduate in BASE, NNL, Radioactive Waste Management. Just had an apprentice into EDF. They just offered him a job. Cumbria Police as well, we're working, it's not just nuclear, we're working with the police, and they've offered their apprentice a job. We've got them in Delkia locally, we've got them in Urenco, so we are working with quite a lot of organisations, but we want to work with you. That's why we're here today. So let us help you. We've got lots of expertise, and we can help put expertise into your organisation, so help you. Next slide, please. So finally, I'm on about 10 seconds. We've actually utilised this apprenticeship to upskill one of our own staff members. Read really quickly, that is what he's got to say about being on this apprenticeship. It's helped us, it's helped Energus, and we want to really work with you and help you. 3 minutes.
Now!
I did have my stopwatch played as well, so.
And I was getting ready to do the countdown song. Thank you, Adrienne.
Please get in touch.
Those slides will be online later.
Brilliant. Thank you, Adrienne. So we're moving on to our next 3x3, which is Monica Gary, who is a new member in the cluster. So welcome, Monica. Over to you.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, coming through.
Sharing your slides.
Yeah, I'm just away to share my screen. Thank you. So hopefully that is up. Let me know when I can go.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, thanks, Hazel. So, hi everyone. Monica Gary, Asset Care Center Manager at Optimal. And ultimately, what Optimal does is we provide physical asset management solutions to a variety of industries. And we are coming from the northeast coast, so we're other side of where majority of you guys are based, but hopefully the network can support us as well, and we can support some of the organizations that are part of the network. And I'll just provide a little bit of the background in a quick presentation ultimately as to what it is that we do and how we could potentially support the businesses. So we are based in Aberdeen, that's where the head office is, and we've been established in 2015. Since then, we moved to South Africa as well and had operations there since 2018. The organization is ISO 9001 accredited via Lloyd's Register, and we're a corporate member of IAM, Institute of Asset Management in the UK, and the equivalent of that SAMA in South Africa. And we're also Cyber Essentials certified because of the level of client data that we ultimately handle as part of our services. So what are those services that we cover? Ultimately, it all stems from enterprise asset management. So any industry or organization that are dependent on physical assets to deliver their business value, there is a solution and a service that we can offer that stems from the whole management of asset lifecycle. So some of the core services are asset data management. So that's to do with asset registers, knowing where your assets are, at what state they're at. From there on, we go to the core service that we provide, and that's the biggest track record that we have, and that's maintenance strategy development and optimization. So we ultimately help organizations, whether that would be to align to ISO 55000 principles or just ultimately look into their maintenance strategies that they have for their assets. Materials engineering, from that point of view, we're dealing with spares and inventory optimization, and we have experience in that in the nuclear. Asset criticality analysis, once again, absolutely essential for organizations to understand which assets are critical and what impact that would have on their operations if something went wrong, so to say. And lastly, we have the technical writing and training element as well of the services. So that's not procedure writing necessarily, but more of a best practice guidance for asset management industries and training, just overall, usually customized to client needs. So just to give a little brief on some of our clients that we work with. So you can see Anglo American Zenco, that's one of our key projects in South Africa, and we're working on maintenance strategy development there and have been for the last couple of years. We've done work for technical writing with Energy Institute. You can see Sellafield there, that's the nuclear experience. You familiar with that? And majority of the other experience and track record is in the oil and gas industry as well. And I'm up. I failed.
You want to put your contact slide up on, Monica?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just miss my R&D bit, but that's fine. Here's the contact details. Thanks, everyone. I did try to speak fast.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you, everyone.
That's great, and a great introduction for a new member as well. So thank you for putting those slides together. Vicky, you are up next.
Thank you very much. Morning, everybody. Nice to be back. It's now 6 weeks since school started back, and 2 weeks since I last spoke at this meeting. So 2 weeks ago, I think I was probably broadly optimistic that schools would be wanting our support and keen to get started and get some bookings into our diary. Today, I'm utterly convinced. The more I speak to schools, the more I understand their concerns around engaging with employers in the new normal, how they're going to do it. Will employers help them work through all the technical issues and ensure that the students get the support they need going forward? And this is particularly relevant for Year 11, those students who are approaching GCSEs in the summer and then making really big choices for themselves after that. So you can see there on the slide, in the last 2 weeks, we've had bookings for almost 300 virtual mock interviews for a mixture of Year 13 and Year 11 students. And I now need, in the region of as you can see there, 100 volunteers to work with those students. All it would involve is committing to an hour in your diary to log on to a Teams meeting and provide a virtual mock interview for 2 students. So if you could do that for us, please do get in touch and I will match you with a school to do that. And Hazel has provided, Andrew's kindly done it for me, a short link so that we can take you through. It's going to appear in the chat so that we can take you through and pick up your details. We're also still looking for video content. You know, mock interviews aren't the only show in town. So if you could make a short video, 3 to 5 minutes about your career journey, again, we would really welcome that support. Andrew, could I have the next slide, please? I've only got 2 today, and contact details are here, but also for those of you who are thinking, oh, I'd like to help, but I'm not sure I can, we are having a workshop, Diane and myself, on the 28th of October. If you're not sure how to engage or in what way you'd like to engage with schools, we can help you within that workshop. It's all very easy going. It's mainly hints, tips and help to get you feel more confident in terms of entering the foray of school, going back to school, as many of us will be doing after a little while. So just to say, please do get in touch. There's lots to get involved in, but as you can see, you know, schools need us more than ever. Please do click on the link and give me your details so I can give you a ring or drop you an email.
So we are moving on to our next slot, which is going to be something slightly different. Diane.
Yeah, so we've reached a little bit of a milestone in the cluster at the moment, because our inaugural patron, our very first patron, Professor John Fife, is now standing down. He joined us in 2018 for a year at the time. If you can do your maths, you probably notice he stayed for twice that time in the end, and we are incredibly grateful for his support. Some of you may not have seen the Prof, as is often known, but his help and support in the background has been great for us as an organisation in looking at how we can support you as members. He's worked in West Cumbria for a long time, been responsible for a lot of things that have happened around here, and he loves the area even though he doesn't live here. I think it's really important that we acknowledge his contribution, where he opened up with his very valuable contacts. He got your voices heard in rooms that we would not have had access to otherwise. And that really helps us to represent you in the best way that we possibly can. There has been a gift commissioned and donated by a member who has really appreciated his input. And hopefully all of you can see the lovely Jutta. Jutta, do you want to just say something so you jump up on people's screens? Because Jutta can show you the gift that has been commissioned. And for anybody that does know the Prof, you will see that it absolutely represents him beautifully. It's done by a local illustrator called Joanne Wong. Jutta, are you there with the gift?
I'm behind the picture. Yeah, so Joanne Wong lives in Whitehaven. She's a young illustrator and she loves drawing, she loves illustrating. If you ever need an illustrator for any of your businesses, yeah, really highly recommend her, and she would love an email from you. So yeah, she did this for.
So for anybody that knows the Prof, it absolutely looks like him, and it even got the cluster badge on there as well. But it's exciting for us as well, because in saying goodbye to the Professor, who unfortunately couldn't join us on here today, we're also saying a huge welcome to exciting times with the lovely Marcia, who's with us. And I'm going to hand over to Marcia for her to say a few words to introduce herself.
Thank you. I'm going to guess that as I start speaking, Andrew might be a little worried. The last time I was on, I ran way over, so I'm going to try really hard to not do that. But I need to thank all of you. Obviously, I have to start with just describing my total appreciation of John. He's obviously done a terrific job for BECBC. He plans to continue even though somewhat further in the background, as he leaves everybody. He wrote last night or 2 nights ago a heartfelt email about working with all of you, and he knows he'll miss you. We also know that everybody who knows him, and even those who don't, will miss him. But I need to thank him for the kindness and the support he has shown me. For those of you who don't know, as a patron, the expectation is that I will do a little PR and just give total support to all of you as you continue doing your work. For me, to make the decision to be a patron was fairly easy. You are all brilliant. So in all honesty, to support brilliance seems to be such a silly question, because of course I'd want to support that. There is a lot for me to learn. Meeting people and certainly getting my nose into areas, perhaps a little like John, that some people might not expect, I can do pretty easily. Learning to talk about the specifics of what you do is really my learning curve. All of you, I know, will help me with that bit of it. It's a privilege for me and a true honor to be your patron. However, I need your help. So I need you to remember that I want to hear from you. If there's ever anything I can do to support you that I'm not doing, you need to get in touch. My understanding is my email will be available. Hazel's nodding, so I know it will be. So you can always use that. Whether it's get in touch to ask a general question or get in touch to give me information, all of it is welcome. If you inundate me, it's going to take me a while to get back to you, obviously. I want you to know that if you want a little bit more information about who this person is, I had an interview with Adam and Rihanna a couple days ago, a podcast, my very first podcast. I believe it'll be on the website. Rihanna, is that? Yeah, she's not in. Okay, so you can get that information. To my surprise, it was actually 40 minutes long. Hopefully interesting, okay? My very last thing is, as a patron, I sometimes get to do things that most people wouldn't do. So I wanted to explain to you all why Ivan's not here, because I can. Now there's a picture that you must see. Does somebody have the picture to put up? Isn't that beautiful? Ivan and his beautiful wife, Miranda, got married last weekend. I managed to get the picture, and I thought all of you should know that while they got married last weekend, Ivan, of course, went back to work, but today starts his mini honeymoon. So they're going to be away locally, but having hopefully a terrific time. I have already said that they make a beautiful couple, even though I did have to note that Miranda was just a gorgeous bride. Okay, so that's it from me. Remember, I need you, can my face come back? Because you'll spend more attention looking at the dress. I can't have that. So I need you to just remember my job. You will make me better. So please feel comfortable getting in touch. I need to also give a shout out to the Shadow Board. They're going to be doing a little bit over the next period of time on mental health. Those of you know, as a retired psychologist, in addition to many other things, but I have, of course, a preference for all of us to learn how to take care of our mental health to make us as good and as well as we can be. So watch out for that. Make sure you tune into that. It's good for all of us. And I need to congratulate the Shadow Board for doing their bit to be forward on what is a topical issue at this point. Andrew, I'm done.
Thank you, Marcia. That's great. Great to have you on board and representing the cluster. I'm sure there's a lot of people looking forward to your involvement, and equally looking down the chat, there's a lot of people showing appreciation as well for John, who obviously is outgoing in this role, but I'm sure will still be behind the scenes by the sounds of it. So thank you, Marcia and Diane, and we will move into the networking session, which we're a couple of minutes behind, but we're going to go for sort of about 12 minutes networking, so we'll still finish on time at 12 o'clock. Okay, welcome back. I think we've got most people back in the main room now. Sorry, the networking was slightly shorter. We were just running a little bit over earlier on, so we've just stopped that so we can ensure that we finish on time at 12 o'clock. Hopefully you found today's session to be really valuable. Diane, unfortunately, has had to disappear a couple of minutes early. She had another call at 12 o'clock, which she was also chairing. So she's in demand. So it just really falls back to me to say thank you very much for joining us today. Like I say, hope you can just take the opportunity to leave us quick feedback through the menti.com slide. That's on screen again now, just with the code 607820 at menti.com. And there's certainly been a lot of chat today, so perhaps before disappearing, just have a quick scan back up the chat and see if there's anything that is of interest. I know there's a few people put their contact details in, and there's a couple of web links that have been shared as well. So do have a quick look back up the chat before disappearing, but like I say, hopefully you found it a productive hour or so, enjoyed the networking, and we'll be back with another event in a few weeks' time.